So I often get asked, Noah, where should I really move to? Should I move to North Port or should I move to Sarasota? They're two cities in Sarasota County. Obviously, Sarasota is located in Sarasota County, but which city is going to be the right fit for you going into 2025? Because if you guys don't already know, there is a lot of shakeup happening in the economy, the stock market, the real estate market. Everything you can think of has been changing in the last several months. So what is the updated outlook for both Northport and Sarasota for one, real estate, two, affordability, three, the job market, and what are the taxes looking like? We are going to be taking a deep dive into everything you need to know about both Sarasota and Northport so you guys can make a good decision on all the facts that you guys learn from this video to see if making the move to Northport is better or making the move to Sarasota is better, because everyone has a specific preference. So I really am eager to share with you guys this updated video since a lot has been changing. But before we dive in and talk all about Sarasota and Northport, whether you guys are looking to move to this area in general, Southwest Florida, I have an entire real estate team and a real estate development company backing you guys on any decision you make here in Southwest Florida, whether it's building a new construction house, buying our existing house, or if you guys are just looking to get out of the area and you guys are looking to sell. Obviously, we do have our team that can handle pretty much anything you throw at us, which is why I decided to start my own development company, was that I was an all-in-one, one-stop shop for every single person that was looking to make the move to this area. So you guys can reach out to me and my team with our contact information down below. And if you guys want to join our exclusive VIP email list, looking at all the new construction in the area, you guys can click the link down in the description down below. But with all that being said, let's dive in and let's start first talking about the affordability and the cost of living in Northport and Sarasota. So I'm going to be referencing my phone here because there is so many changes going on into this area. So let's first break down the median home price, right? So if we take a look at Northport, a lot has been changing in the last year. Northport real estate market is down just under 8%, 7.8%. On the median sales price compared to this time last year. So right now, the average sales price here in Northport, we're sitting at about $350,000 all in. Now, obviously, if you're looking at new construction, we're probably in the ballpark at 365, 370 for the median home price. And so then, which is very affordable if you think about it. Historically, I think the state of Florida, the average house price in the state of Florida is about $425,000. So Northport is sitting below that average home price, right? And then we go look at Sarasota. Obviously, Sarasota is going to be, when I talk about Sarasota, I'm talking about the greater proper Sarasota County area. So that encompasses a lot of it doesn't encompass Venice, it doesn't encompass the city of Sarasota. It's just talking about the county surrounding specifically. So if we look at Sarasota in general, the average or the median house price is $433,000, which is down just about 6% compared to this time last year. So we did make a little bit of a drop, and we are seeing more higher days on market here in Sarasota. I think our average days on market, or the inventory, is about 9 months, give or take. Northport right now is sitting at over 70 days average for days on market. Sarasota is a little bit shorter than that. But right now, overall, we're starting to come into more of a neutral real estate market. And it's not houses are flying off the shelves within the first week or the first 2 weeks. It is actually now really coming down to, are you priced correctly for what the buyers are willing to pay? That is a key question I ask all of my sellers before we go to list their house, because in this market, even if you're off by $10,000 on your list price, you're not going to get many showings. So now that we obviously talked about, the average house price, both Northport and Sarasota have seen a decrease just a little bit, but still relatively minor compared to the appreciation that we have right now. On average, we're appreciating 9 to 10% every single year. So it's kind of outpacing that a little bit. But property taxes are huge, right? So everyone's saying, Noah, what are property taxes here in Sarasota? I heard that they're charging an arm and a leg. They're charging a fortune for property taxes. Well, I don't know where you guys are coming from. These taxes may be cheaper. They may be more expensive than where you're from. Like out in the Midwest, it is a little bit more expensive down here than it is there. But if you're looking at Virginia or the East Coast, you're looking at these property taxes being a heck of a lot cheaper than up there. So if we're looking right now, the North Port tax rate is 1.4%. So that comes to be about 14 millage points. So if we take a look, let's scroll down to the taxes and how it's all broken down, right? So we have the total millage being 14.55% for the city of North Port. And so when we take a look at that, obviously that's going into improving the city of North Port, improving the area. That's basically what the taxes are all going to encompass, right? So then if we're looking at that, the median average tax bill right now in North Port is about $2,900 a year, which isn't terrible. Most of my clients are paying $4,000 to $5,000 on their taxes every single year. And that's just because the average price point of those houses are in the fives, the high fours, maybe higher fives. So their tax bracket is obviously going to be a little bit higher. Then if we go to Sarasota County, not the city of Sarasota, Sarasota County taxes right now are sitting at 1.1% of the assessed value of the property. That's not the purchase price, that is the assessed value. A lot of people get that mixed up saying, Noah, I bought this house for $500,000. Now they're going to charge me 1.1% on that property. Well, in all reality, they charge you on the assessment, not of the actual purchase price. So there's no real equation to calculate property taxes here in the greater Sarasota County area in general, North Port. The same, they can give you an idea for a property, right? But when they come to it, they take the purchase price. Usually what I see them doing is they take 60 to 70% of that value of the purchase price, and that becomes your assessed value of the property. That 1.1% tax rate is on your assessed value, not of your purchase price. So that's a key thing to make note of, is that taxes aren't based on purchase price, they're based on assessment price. And the average the average tax bill in Sarasota is a little bit higher than North Port. It's coming in about $3,053, right? So I know a lot of my clients up in Sarasota, they're buying $750,000, $800,000, $900,000 houses. Their tax rate right now is they're paying $10,000, $11,000, $13,000% or $13,000 for their tax bill at the end of the year. So the average $3,000 is averaging out all the $300,000 houses, the $250,000 houses, the $1 million houses, and so forth. So it's really, realistically, from my perspective, if you're buying a house in Sarasota, expect to pay anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 in taxes a year. That's the realistic price that I would say to stay around. And obviously, both cities, both county and the city, we have the same tax rate for sales tax, which is 7%. So that's pretty much a wash here. And then now that we go to, let's take a look at the overall location, lifestyle. Let's see who's going to be a right fit for Sarasota and who's going to be the right fit for North Port, right? So first, let's talk about proximity to beaches, right? Because everyone wants to move here because of the beaches. So that is going to be the biggest determining factor, I believe, between Sarasota County and North Port, or Sarasota, I should say. Sarasota is obviously a lot closer to beaches than North Port, right? Because if you look at North Port is the furthest southeast corner of Sarasota County, which is ultimately one of the furthest away areas from beaches, right? So realistically, when you live in North Port, your nearest beach is going to be Manasota Key Beach and Venice Beach. Realistically, now on maps, it's going to show you being about 35 minutes away from the beach, depending on where you are in North Port. But realistically, plan to be about 45 minutes away from a beach in regards to traffic, anything like that. Or if you're on the furthest east side of North Port, you're going to be 45, 50 minutes away from the beach unless you're really close to I-75 or US 41, right? However, when you live in Sarasota County, like I live in Sarasota County, I live directly east of Siesta Key, a little bit inland, obviously. I don't live right next to Siesta Key, a little bit inland, and I'm like 10 miles away, or what am I, 9 miles away from Siesta Key, and it takes me about 25 minutes to get there. Other people that live closer are about 15, 20 minutes away. Otherwise, you're 30 minutes max, I would say, away from any beach when you live in Sarasota County. So you have more opportunity to obviously be a little bit closer to beaches than you would be in North Port. But once again, it all comes down to what is your budget of your house, and do you want to be in an HOA or not an HOA, because those are huge factors when people are buying properties. And now, Overall, the community vibes. A lot of people love the nightlife. A lot of people love, being able to go out at night, go to the movie theater, go grab a drink at the bar, just enjoy the overall downtown scene. So Northport in general, we don't really have a downtown here in Northport, I would say. You have right off of 41, you have that little strip area, which has a lot of great shops, restaurants, Starbucks, it has crumble cookies, stuff like that. It has a lot of like bigger commercial kind of stuff, but it really doesn't have, in my personal opinion, it doesn't have a downtown area. You have Welland Park, which is a master plan community that is just outside of Northport a little bit, which that has amazing restaurants, shops, dining, all that good stuff. If you haven't seen my video from Welland Park, go and check it out. I absolutely love Welland Park. Welland Park is a beautiful place to join and a beautiful place to be in, but yet the average sales price is over $500,000 there. Realistically, you're sitting at $750,000 for a new construction house. So I really love Welland Park. It's about 15 minutes away from Northport. That's where your entertainment is. When you live in Sarasota, you're going to go to downtown Sarasota. Like for me, I live about 25 minutes from downtown Sarasota. I can go to the bars. I can go, there's shopping down there. There's coffee shops down there. There's a lot of nightlife, I would say. Now, more people that come from Miami or maybe that are coming from a bigger city, they say there's not nightlife here in Sarasota. Well, obviously the nightlife in Sarasota doesn't compare to the nightlife in Tampa because the average age in Tampa is a lot less than the average age of Sarasota. So during in-season, you are getting a lot of people in downtown Sarasota that are coming from the islands, that are grabbing a bite to eat, that are going to go grab a drink at the bar and so forth. And obviously, you have Siesta Key Island, which is hopping during in-season, anywhere from 12 p.m. all the way to midnight. You have people covering the islands, that are vacationing. So you got that during in-season. Out of season, it's a little bit more quiet, a little bit more of a quaint little island town vibe, so to speak. So we do like that. I go to Siesta Key off-season, not during in-season, because of the chaos that ensues with in-season Siesta Key traffic. If you guys have visited, you guys know exactly what I mean by that. So obviously Sarasota is going to win on the nightlife aspect and the things to do. And that's why a lot of people move to Sarasota, is because they're close to downtown, because they're close to the islands, that they can go enjoy that nightlife activity. So besides the nightlife activity comes with more people moving in, comes with more developments, comes with, higher price tags and so forth. So let's talk about the overall growth that our cities are seeing, and let's talk about the overall developments that are coming into the area, right? So let's kick it off with Northport. So Northport is growing tremendously. In the last 5 years, Northport has grown exponentially. Obviously, the pandemic has helped quite a bit grow all of Florida in general, but Northport right now is the largest city in Sarasota County in general. We are currently sitting at almost just under 98,000 residents, right? So Northport has a max capacity of 250,000 residents. When Northport is fully built out, people are projecting Northport to be built out in 5 years. I'm projecting, 5 years was realistic during the pandemic because we were on a crazy run rate of how big Northport was appreciating. But now, right now, I'm thinking about 10 years, give or take, because there's a lot of utilities that still need to come in. There's a lot of houses that still need to be built. There is so many vacant lots for sale. At any given moment, there's 1,100 lots on the open market to buy and sell for only $20,000. So there's so much inventory to be had, to be built up first, infrastructure, development, so forth. And I made a video talking about all the changes that are happening in Northport. So that includes the rezone that happened in Northport, the construction that's happening, the commercial development. So go and see that video if you guys want more information on everything that's happening in Northport in terms of changes, population, real estate developments, where the newest developments are going in, where the newest commercial developments are going in, where multifamily housing is going in, and so forth, right? And then let's flip the script. Let's go take a look at Sarasota. So obviously, we're talking about Sarasota, the county of Sarasota, excluding the municipalities. So the population right now is 772,000 residents in the county of Sarasota in general. And that is just about a 1% increase from 2024. So Sarasota continues to still be an appreciating community, even though, yes, you see on the news, high insurance rates, high taxes, everything like that. I can break down 99% of these myths that Southwest Florida has, such as high insurance rates. I don't even know where people get that nonsense from. Is obviously they're coming from, older houses, right? So that's why I love new construction. That's why I started a construction company, because there is so many benefits of buying new construction. Like, for example, when I build a new construction house, 2,000 square foot house, 4 beds, 3 baths, I know that insurance policy is going to be $1,200 to $1,400 a year for full coverage. Other people are putting out on the news, oh my gosh, insurance is $5,000 minimum, right? However, that couldn't be further from the truth. So if you guys want the real information on that, I'll make a video on the true insurance costs here in Sarasota County, since a lot of the news is absolute BS and just fear mongering, in my opinion. So obviously, Sarasota continues to grow. North Port was at about 88,000 residents last year, so we're growing by we grew about 10,000 residents in the past year. So not terrible, but there is a lot of growth happening. There's obviously new development projects happening east of I-75, which we'll cover in future videos, and I've covered that back in 2024 in Sarasota, but I'll give you guys an updated video for 2025 where all the new construction is happening. With Neal Communities, MI, Taylor Morrison, DR Horton, all these big people that are having a 20-50 year plan to where all those areas east of I-75 where all the cow pastures are being built out, because anything west of I-75 is pretty much already taken for, spoken for, or built out. Those house prices are going through the roof right now. Obviously, the economy is not doing the greatest right now, but hopefully that turns around soon. So right now, more builders are giving more builder incentives out. I know builders that are giving out $50,000 in flex cash for buying down the raid, putting in upgrades, pretty much anything that you really want to do, including going into your down payment as well. So be sure to stay tuned for developments that are happening in both of these areas. Now we get to the point where people may have kids, families moving down into the area. So what are the school systems looking like here? And I'm only going to briefly touch upon this because as a licensed real estate agent, I can't give you my favorite or my personal opinion. I only can talk facts about the overall school ratings here. So we're going to be using niche.com. We're going to be using greatschools.org. We're going to be using all these public facing sites to determine where the school systems are, right? So North Port is part of Sarasota County school systems because they're in Sarasota County. And if you guys don't know, Sarasota County is the second ranked best county or schools, second best county, I should say, in the state of Florida for schools, right? So if we look at North Port right now, North Port schools specifically in general are averaging a 7 out of 10, which places them in about the top 50th percentile for all top Florida public schools. Then if we look at Sarasota County in general, Sarasota County, so that includes everything, Venice, Sarasota, and North Port. All of the counties and all the schools, I should say, they are ranked a 10 out of 10 in general, which is putting them in the top 5% public schools in all of Florida. So obviously, if you guys are moving to whether it's North Port or Sarasota, you're going to be a part of the Sarasota County school system. So you can't go wrong. We're in all A-rated school systems in North Port, Venice, and Sarasota. So I would consider this all a wash in general because North Port is part of Sarasota County, which means we're part of their schools. So take that into account. You're not moving to like Charlotte County, where Charlotte County doesn't have a county-wide public school system. They only are very specific to the city. So like Port Charlotte has their own school. Punta Gorda has their own school system. But Sarasota County encompasses all the municipalities into one umbrella. So that is super nice to note if you do have kiddos going into the schools. And then let's go into the overall, last thing I will talk about, just so you guys know, is going to be the overall real estate market. Because everyone's wondering, Noah, where is this real estate market going in 2025, right? It's a great question. I get a lot of questions about that. And a lot of people are like, oh, the market's going to tank, right? So obviously I back all my opinions up by facts and numbers. I don't base it off of, oh, this is what I believe because this is why. Like I don't just say stuff just because that's what I believe. I'm backing it up by numbers. So when we look at the market trends for North Port, right? Obviously the median home price just in February alone, not overall in the last year, but in February alone was $362,000. That's down 2.1% from the previous February, right? So that's good. That's key to note that we are trending downward in average sales price. However, based on what we've been seeing, the new construction materials, the tariffs that are being put in place, the labor market, everything like that, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen from my building material costs, my labor costs, new construction builders, talking with them firsthand, the prices cannot go down much lower than they currently are because you can't build a house anymore for what the sales price is. So builders will not be making money if the houses go down anymore. So that is keeping the new construction market, I would say, where it's going to sit for the time being, which means that resale houses aren't going to go much lower either because there are people still buying. We are actually at a trending upwards ratio of higher sales prices than what it was listed. So for example, let's just say that a house was listed for $500,000, 6 months ago, that, people were buying them at about 93% of list price, but now we've actually increased to about a 95 to 97% list to sold ratio. So that is definitely key to note, is that the list price to sold ratio has gone up over the last, 6 months, give or take. So we are seeing the outlook trend upwards. I think we came from a downhill, we plateaued for a little bit, and now we've been going up on an upwards trends a little bit because we were down, 8-10% on our average sales price. So they have peaked up a little bit. Do I think it's going to increase much? No, not really, because economists have predicted North Port to maybe appreciate maybe about 2% this year going forward in 2025. So we'll see what happens there nonetheless. And then Sarasota, the median sold price in February of 2025 was $510,000. That's only down 0.5% from where it was last year. So not terrible. The county of Sarasota, in my opinion, is a lot more stable than the city of North Port, because North Port, like I said, is a little bit further out there. It's a little bit further away from things. Job market's not as strong in North Port compared to Sarasota in general. So we're going to see Sarasota stay stagnant, and, from what economists have been saying, from what the real estate market has been showing, from what the average list price has been showing, we're just really flatlining right now. I don't see anything happening for the next, 6 months, give or take, in regards to the house prices. Mortgage rates are going down, which may spike an influx of how many buyers are coming into the market. I don't see really an influx. I've talked with my mortgage lenders. I don't really see a huge drop in mortgage rates coming soon, but we are going to see a light drop, maybe a quarter to 0.25% to 0.5%, which is going to get more people looking into buying in this real estate market. But that overall, that kind of shows you and sums up what Sarasota looks like and what North Port looks like. Now, obviously, it's up to you guys to determine, is it right for you guys to move to North Port, or is it right for you guys to move to Sarasota? There's a lot of different things to weigh and a lot of different pros and cons to look at in the cities for one: affordability, location, close proximity to the beaches, shopping, all that good stuff, right? So if you guys have questions about anything that we made on this video, you guys can reach out to us with our contact information down below. And if you guys are just looking for a very transparent builder that doesn't bullshit you on costs or building materials, anything like that, you can reach out to my development company down below. You can talk with me and my licensed general contractor, Josh, where we go into opening up full transparency among all builds and what the real costs are going to be, so that there are no hidden fees, unlike a lot of the builders here in Sarasota County. So if you want that information, obviously we have all of our contact information down below. And if you guys are just a few years out, maybe you guys just want to join our VIP list, you guys can go click that link as well, where it's going to walk you guys through all the new construction that's happening in the area to keep you guys up to date, so that you guys don't miss a beat here in Sarasota. But with all that being said, we appreciate you guys checking out this video as always, and we will catch you guys all next week.